Well, hello, everybody. Tonight, on the big picture, the world, of course, once again, is going crazy. NATO is expanding. The war in Ukraine is escalating. Russia has accused the U.S. of war crimes. North Korea has threatened to shoot down any plane or drone that America threatens or brings anywhere close to him. Iran says it now has nuclear weapons. They're sort of finally admitting it. The economy is tanking even further. Walmart prices are skyrocketing. The World Economic Forum is saying we need to put CBDCs under the skin. Malaria is breaking out in Florida. Climate control is going to another level in religion. And of course, AI is about to take over the world. What can we do about it? Probably nothing. That and more tonight on The Big Picture Live. We're going to bring in the Queen, and we're going to bring the news like we always do. Right after this, get ready. Share, share, share. Well, hello. I want to start right off by throwing this up here and say thank you for that super sticker, Pamela Baker. All right. We got the Queen on here tonight. Y'all show some love.
I'm back. We're back. And you are right. We're bringing it tonight.
We are bringing it tonight. Yeah. We always point out, I want to start off by saying we always point out CJ, screaming in the background. And I want to give a shout out to CJ tonight. Mm-hmm. You know him. He's our admin, our moderator. But CJ's got a brand new YouTube podcast that is going live this week.
So exciting.
So I'm so proud of him. So look, and CJ, make sure you put in the live chat and in the comment below the link to your show and how they can find you, because I'm telling you, CJ is going to have a powerful, and I believe his first guest, we know his first guest.
We know him.
Yes. He is our son-in-law.
Yep.
And it is just going to be a tremendous show.
It is going to be a tremendous show. And I don't want to give away the topic or the subject, but a lot of people deal with this.
Yep.
A lot of people.
It's going to help a lot of people.
It's going to help a lot of people. So you need to tune in. You need to find out what it's about, and you need to share it with others, because you're going to know someone who's dealing with this very issue. So we're super excited. And I'm super excited to see everyone in chat tonight.
Yes.
I wanted to get here earlier to see who all had shown up early. His mom said he's a nice guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
in chat.
That's the number one fan club right there, Mama. Yep. But Sandy, it's Monday night.
That's right.
The crowd is going wild. Woo! Why? Because that means it's time to wake up. It's time to get some news that's not woke. But is awake.
Yes.
And as you said, we hitting wide open. But of course, the first thing we want to let everybody know is how much we appreciate everybody.
Absolutely.
Went to our P.O. box today, had I think 3 people sent us some help today. We appreciate all that you're doing by going to LarryRagland.tv and clicking the give button as you see on the screen. Or many of you now are sending a check to Larry Ragland Ministries, P.O. Box 9489, Birmingham, 35220, and you can make that check out to Larry Ragland Ministries. And here's the thing, Sandy, 100% of that is going towards something that I still can't believe I'm even saying.
It's kind of crazy, but yes, if this happens, it'll be because you guys stepped up and made it happen, of course, along with God. He's definitely in control.
We're going on television. We're going on television.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, we don't know what's going to happen after 3 months, but the 3 months is happening. We are definitely going to be on there for 3 months.
We got 13 solid weeks, folks.
Yeah, so
thanks to you guys. And somebody out there in chat, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, said my hair looked good tonight.
Well, look at you.
I love you.
Look at you.
I love you.
You got so many points tonight. Sorry,
it whizzed by so fast. I couldn't catch it.
We'll go back.
So many exciting things. And before we move on, another exciting thing. I'm wearing this T-shirt tonight. Southbound.
It's backwards, but it says Southbound.
It's backwards, but it says Southbound because we are having a concert here at Solid Rock Church, our church that we pastor here, Birmingham Metro. You're all invited. If you're anywhere You don't even have to be near. Just come on in. We got hotels everywhere. We have hotels near I-65, near I-59, 10, 11, 12 minutes from the church. And this is going to be amazing. If you've not heard Southbound, they will absolutely bless you. This is very good music.
And that guy in the middle, Bishop Clinton Brown, that's my bishop. He's
kind of important to us.
He's spiritual father to me. And you need to go find their music.
Yes,
and,
you do.
You can go to southbound.live, and you can find it on YouTube, too. They have all their videos there. But, Sandy, we got to get in some news tonight.
We do. Get the shovel out.
So, here we go. So, right off the bat, we like to cover some news that are breaking. And just before we went on the air, if you'll notice the update, there was talk about it today. Turkey was standing in the way of Sweden joining NATO. And I don't know if you know the reason, but the reason Turkey was trying to negotiate and standing in the way of Sweden becoming the newest member of NATO is because Turkey is wanting to be a member of the European Union. And they were trying to bargain, saying, put us in the European Union and we'll let Sweden in NATO.
Thank you for clarifying that.
That's
because
what that was
as
about.
I'm reading this, I didn't get to that point yet. But I kept thinking, what's this about? What's going on here?
That's what it was about.
Okay.
So update, 1531, of course, military times. Stoltenberg confirms the massive news. There will be a 32nd member state added to NATO as we now await Russia's sure to be deeply unhappy and frustrated response. Prior, Moscow's declarations related to Sweden's potential move into NATO had involved measures to strengthen Russia's defensive positions along the Scandinavian border region, specifically the Finnish border, as well as the region of the far northern remote Arctic border area with Sweden. And, of course, you can see there.
And so Finland was already adopted in.
Yeah.
Correct. I don't know when it happened, how many years or how much, they got ahead of Sweden, but obviously now it's going to happen for them as well.
Yeah, and you can see Erdogan there with the Swedish Prime Minister, and as they are proclaiming their excitement because of this. And what is really the big deal about this is a big deal, period, anybody that ever joins NATO. But it says what's clear is the unintended consequences resulting from the Ukraine conflict has continued to spiral, and things are escalating by day and week. And now, to make matters worse, some, though not all NATO member states, are pushing for Ukraine's entry into the military alliance.
Is that not what this is?
I think this
it's
is
not all what it's about, but
it's the next step. It's the next step. Now, the U.S. has resisted, and I was surprised today that Biden told Ukraine no today. He ain't told Ukraine no on anything. But when I delved into the
exactly,
I found out that it was not yet.
Read the small print.
Yeah, it wasn't no, you can't come in, not yet. It's not yet.
Not today.
Not today. So in a surprising move, we see that this has happened today. Now, what does this mean for the overall war effort and all this going on? I don't really know what this necessarily means. But obviously, Russia is very upset with this because in fact, they've said that the whole thing about Ukraine, in one of the big things, is to try to keep them out of NATO, and said it was a declaration of war if you put them in NATO. Thank you for that super chat. Charlotte Milliken. Thank you,
I know her.
My daughter. Thank you. Y'all, if y'all don't know about spiritual fathers and mothers, you're going to hear us talk about sons and daughters, and y'all going to think we got like 150 kids, but these are our spiritual sons and daughters.
That's right.
So this is a big deal because the whole thing with Russia is, they didn't want neighboring NATO countries to their borders. Yeah. And little by little by little, and of course, Ukraine would be the big one. Not to mention that it's the breadbasket of the world. It's also bordering Russia, and now they felt like they had a buffer between NATO countries, because if you remember, the NATO contract is, if you're in it, if anybody in NATO is attacked, we're all attacked.
Yes.
So that's why if Ukraine gets in right now, that means we're in.
Yep. It's a powder keg, and where's the match coming from?
Yeah, it is. All right, so let's continue talking about that, because I want to show you this there about NATO as well, because this This is in the topic of NATO. Now, this lady here, you guys really, really need to get to know this lady. And of course, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean here, but it's just something about the way Biden, when he looks into the people's eyes and touches them and all, he's so touchy-feely. He's touchy-feely, okay?
To everybody.
This literally looks like a rom-com.
It's a little extra, and it's kind of gross.
Yeah, it looks like he's just about to lean in. I'm sorry. I got to move on. Okay.
Okay.
Biden demands that the EU chief, this lady right here, she is Ursula von der Leyen.
I love the way you say those names.
Ursula von der Leyen.
Or possibly Ursula?
Ursula, maybe. Maybe. Thank you for that super chat, Mitchell.
Yes.
Appreciate it. And thank you for that super chat, Alicia.
Yes.
So this person right here leads the European Union. She was, and she has been huge in the World Economic Forum, pushing for mandates and all this stuff. I mean, she is a globalist to the max. Well, Biden has stepped up in all of this talk about NATO and is demanding that EU chief, quite frankly, a disaster as German Secretary of Defense, to lead NATO. Joe Biden is pushing scandal-ridden German, who heads the European Union's unelected executive, for NATO Secretary General, having blocked the British Defense Secretary for the role. Her name, you heard it, Ursula von der Leyen, president of the European Commission, claimed just last month that she did not even want the job. But Biden is backing her.
Surely she's getting ready for retirement.
Oh, yeah. Because Biden is wanting to deepen the growing rift between America and Britain. The Democrat initially backed a Danish socialist over Britain's Ben Wallace, an Army veteran, but switching support to von der Leyen, whose home country fails to meet its NATO targets, will be seen as an even worse snub, given the catastrophic state of Germany's military when she was Angela Merkel's defense secretary. So I wanted everybody to see this person because I am sure as the talk of NATO and Ukraine and all this gets more intensified in the coming days and weeks, we're going to be seeing a lot more. Do you know anything about her? Have you heard anything about her?
I don't, but do we need to, we don't just need to gloss over the fact that Britain's pretty upset about this business.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, they don't like it.
They don't like it because they felt like their guy was going to lead NATO, and it got blocked. So that's on. We're talking about NATO here, and if you hadn't smashed that like button, can you do that for us tonight? Because
I'm always curious. Yes, smash away. I'm always curious where some of these people come from. I mean, sure, we can get our education and do our public service and rise through the ranks, but, are some of these people just because of what family they were born to or who they married?
Oh, yeah.
And, listen, I know the wise old man and we can be productive into our later years, but some of these folks on the world stage, they might need to be looking into calling it quits and moving into retirement. It makes me a little nervous to know.
Well, I think we have
so much is riding on some folks that I don't feel too good about.
Okay, look, but let's be honest. We are not in any way, shape, or form as a country in a place to give that advice because we are the poster child
I'm talking
for
about
Weekend
our
at
country.
Bernie's. Weekend at Bernie's. Y'all remember that movie?
I'm talking about our country as well as others.
I'm sorry. This is not age shaming, okay?
No.
This is not. But listen.
When you can see someone is not in their top form, this is not the days where we send out the B team.
Did you see the video of when he was presented before the British Army with King Charles today? Have you seen that?
I was listening to some of it on the news, but they didn't get to that, and I certainly didn't see video, so I'm anxious to...
You got to see it because y'all need to look for it because King Charles had to grab him.
No.
Yes, and he kept looking at King Charles looked like he was so mad. He just kept getting madder and madder, and he kept pointing, and Biden wouldn't move. Biden just kept talking to the British soldiers, not whatever you call those guys that stand out and they can't talk to you. The palace guards or whatever. And until finally he reaches out and grabs his arm and drags him and walks him through. It was embarrassing. I got to move on, but it was embarrassing, y'all. If y'all are think. By the way, we got to say hello to our Rumble family because our Rumble family is growing.
Yes,
and if you don't follow us on Rumble, you can go to rumble.com/Larry Ragland.
They're ready to rumble.
Oh, they are always ready to rumble.
We're loving it. And I'm very thirsty tonight, so I may drink a lot of water.
That's okay, but we got to have that Rumble as a backup because we cover some things on here that has got us kicked off before. And if you don't follow us on Rumble, go there now. So let's continue the news tonight. Staying on the topic of awards, but this is something that came out today. The United States is set to send cluster bombs to Ukraine. Now we're going to talk about what cluster bombs are in just a minute. Yep. But these cluster bombs are actually banned in 120 countries, and Psaki admitted that using them would potentially be a war crime.
They reached back into the vault to pull that clip out. Of Jen Psaki, right? Talking about this. When
she was the press secretary, now, of course, Darling, what is she on? MSNBC, CNN? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Because I don't watch any of them. But it says that the United States Department of Defense recently announced that they will be sending yet another weapons package to Ukraine, this time the gift of the controversial cluster bombs, munitions that are banned in 120 countries. Exactly. And something even just a year ago, the now former press secretary, Jen Psaki, admitted to unleashing them would potentially be a war crime. Now, this little video here, I'm going to show you this.
Watch that.
This just gives you an idea.
Can I just say, this is what it brought to mind for me. Buckshot.
Yeah.
But way worse than buckshot.
Oh, yeah.
Cluster bombs can be dropped from an aircraft. They open in midair, dispensing hundreds of submunitions or bomblets over an area roughly the size of a football field and causing immense destruction.
What? Wow. Listen to this end. Listen to the end. What he's about to say.
The submunitions often fail to explode on impact.
Fail to explode on impact.
Serious threat to civilian population.
Serious threat to civilians.
Especially children.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
A child standing over.
Wow. So they're very destructive, widespread, and that's why they're banned in so many. But 5 days into the start of the conflict, Jen Psaki responded to comments about Russia's use of cluster bombs. To which she responded, "We have seen the reports. If that were true, that would potentially be a war crime."
War crime.
War crime. But here we are sending them ourselves.
And in this article, or I think the other article that you chose to talk about this, was it not the Russian? I don't know his office, but did he not use that clip?
Yes.
Here
it is.
Okay. Yeah.
The Kremlin, the United States just confessed to imminent war crimes in Ukraine. Statements made by National Security Council John Kirby on Sunday news shows have been seized upon by the Kremlin as a clear demonstration that the United States has confessed to war crimes. And he says Kirby, in a fresh interview with ABC, was defending President Biden's approving cluster bombs for Ukraine, which are banned in over 120 countries. He said, and this is what they seized on. Kirby at one point told ABC that, quote, "We can all agree that more civilians have been and will continue to be killed by Russian forces than will likely be hurt by the use of these cluster munitions." So the administration's consistent rationale has been to say that while, yes, this opens up Ukraine's military to the greater likelihood of committing war crimes, it's essentially okay because Russia is doing it as well. And so basically what he's saying is, this is the Russian ambassador. Right. We have taken note.
Russian ambassador. The
Russian ambassador, Antonov, said, "We have taken note of the director for strategic communications, John Kirby's statements. The official de facto confessed that the United States committing war crimes during the Ukrainian conflict. He overtly stated that civilians will fall victim to cluster-type weapons and ammunition." And,
Are you going to play the video?
Yeah, we got the video here. Yeah, let's play it. This right here?
I'm talking about Biden, the president.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
The president.
Yeah, that's next.
I don't know if that's next or when it's coming, but wow. How many more things are we going to do to elevate our position in a negative way, in a bad way, to expose ourselves to the Russians and to just create even more anger towards us?
Yeah, and look, we're not trying to be friends with Russia. Russia is an evil administration that is killing people. You know, they've declared war on another sovereign country. But the reality is this: what we are being spun about this war is not the truth. Ukraine is not winning this war. Ukraine will probably not win this war. And I'm talking about thousands, tens of thousands. Some people even say hundreds of thousands have died. Yeah. We've heard that from people on the ground.
I'd love to know what the accurate and true count is myself. You hear so many things, and it's hard for us to know.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then of course, you know, we love our country. And and like I said, I'm not trying to say that I hate President Biden. I'm not anti. We honor.
But we can disagree.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Respectfully disagree.
Absolutely. And we honor the office of the presidency.
Absolutely.
We don't want to dishonor the office of the presidency.
No.
But number one, we're being embarrassed. But number two, because of the state of the cognitive state that I think we all know that the mainstream media is scared to death to say, starting to sort of say it, because I think they're getting ready to replace him with another candidate before the election. Yeah. But the reality is this: because of the cognitive state, they can't even edit out the things like they used to because there's so many things. Today, something happened, or yesterday, something happened in an interview that some people are just trying to blow right over. But this is a pretty big deal. Our president openly admitted that the United States military is low on ammunition on CNN. Is this the one you're talking about?
Yes, I started watching this, and I did not get to finish this one. Okay,
so today, this was yesterday, during an interview with CNN, President Joe Biden admitted the United States military is low on ammunition. Yes, for all the world to hear, including our enemies, our president plainly said the United States military is low on some types of ammunition. And this is apparently why he approved sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. Now, this interview right here, I don't know what this guy's name is. What's this guy's name? I can't say. He's probably got some name I can't say anyway. But listen, I watched the beginning of this interview, and this is how he led the interview. I want to first say that most people that followed you have said you have done a phenomenal job as a president. He went on for like 5 minutes just telling him what an amazing man he was, an amazing president he's been, how the economy is booming, and how his world policy is accepted and loved by the world. And he kept trying to lead him into these questions, but the president just kept going off. And listen to this right here. I'm going to play a couple of clips, but this is a little short clip here. This is when this is why he is defending sending the cluster bombs.
What made you change your mind and decide to give them these weapons?
Two things, Fareed, and it was a very difficult decision on my part. And by the way, I discussed this with our allies, discussed this with our friends up on the Hill, and we're in a situation where Ukraine continues to be brutally attacked across the board by munitions, by these cluster munitions that have dud rates that are very low, very high, that are a danger to civilians, number one. Number two, the Ukrainians are running out of ammunition.
Okay. So number two, he says the Ukrainians are running out of ammunition.
Just tell everything.
So first thing he does is he tells the world, Ukraine don't have any bullets. So he tells the whole world that. And then if that was not enough.
The ammunition, they call them 155 millimeter weapons.
Listen.
This is a war relating to munitions and the running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it. And so what I find...
Okay. It was so quick. And they're trying to edit that out. CNN's not running that. The only reason we're seeing is because people grabbed it before they took it down. Okay, Ukraine's running out of ammunition, and so we got to send them this cluster bomb so that they can just sort of just blanket some things and kill as many people as they can because they're running out of ammunition.
Ukraine's running low. We're running low.
Yeah.
And we're about to commit a war crime.
Yeah, about to commit a war crime. And the reason that they're low is because they're getting their ammunition from us, and we're low as well. Yeah. So just go ahead and tell the world that we're running out of ammunition.
Oh boy.
This is unbelievable, Sandy.
I'm telling you, every week it's worse.
Every week.
Every week.
Every
How
single
is
week.
this possible?
I mean that's like getting on this show, which by the way, if anybody's wondering, this is not the case. I got plenty of ammunition, okay? So don't come trying to mess with my house, all right? I believe in the Second Amendment. I'll pray in the Spirit over you while I defend my family. That's all I'm going to say, all right? But that'd be like me getting on here going, Sandy, we're just talking openly. Sandy, we just we need to buy some bullets because we've got guns at home, but we ain't got no ammunition.
Exactly. And we forget to set the alarm or lock the front door most of the time.
Yeah.
God overlooks things like that.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't know any better, somebody could just walk in on us. But no, guess what?
No.
We lock our doors. We set the alarm.
I will see you on the camera.
Exactly. And I was, and my little friend, I'll introduce you to my little friend as well.
Oh boy!
All right, so we're here every Monday night. If you're brand new, thank you for coming on. If you are a new Big Picture family, thank you for being a part. And we're here every Monday night, and we just want you to help us spread the word.
Chat is pretty rocking tonight.
It's rocking tonight.
They're busy out there.
Yep.
Hey, Naomi.
All right, so let's get back into this because we got a lot of ground to cover. Now, Poland, because Poland borders Russia as well.
Yes, they do.
Poland is now moving troops to the eastern border amid Wagner fears.
Yeah, they don't like this business.
No, so we heard this this potential supposed coup, which was silly, but Wagner is still very, very active, and people know that something is up on that whole thing. That was a distraction. And that
was some funny business, wasn't it?
It really was.
That was weird.
And you know what? They're trained assassins. Many of them are murderers. They were taken out of prison as murderers and put in a uniform.
You know what? Who were we listening? This is not funny at all. But who were we listening to that talked about? Listen, I know what it was. It was some of that UFO business a couple weeks ago. That some of these private contractors, security types, they have to be a certain type of personality.
Yes, they do.
Probably the way that these soldiers have to be a certain disposition and personality. Yeah. Because we can send these guys out here and no qualms. They're going to they're going to fulfill the mission. Whatever's asked of them.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have they have some problems with their conscience, but they don't have any problems doing what they're asked to do.
Yeah, and if you're not a part of a government, you don't have to have a conscience because you're not worried about laws and you think you're above the law. Yeah. And that's what these black op groups are, and that's what Wagner is. But they're not just black ops. They're made up of actual convicted murderers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Poland began moving over 1,000 troops to the east of the country on Saturday. The defense minister said amid rising concerns that NATO members that the presence of Wagner group fighters in Belarus could lead to increased tension on the border.
You think?
Yeah, you think? President Vladimir Putin's decision to offer mercenary fighters of the Wagner group the choice of relocating to Belarus has led to fears among Eastern NATO members that their presence will cause greater instability in the region. So what I'm seeing, Sandy, over and over and over again, the pattern just in the last week is NATO is becoming the prevalent talking point, and Russia knows something's coming with NATO. So they are beginning to move, and NATO countries begin to see something happening in Russia as well.
Well, because of all of that, obviously Poland now feels like they need to position themselves in a certain way with people and equipment. And who can blame them? It must be a treacherous place to live.
Yeah.
To see what you're seeing, but also to have that uncertainty of what might happen next.
Right. And then what we're seeing, and we'll touch on this in just a minute, in France and other places, is you're seeing the repercussions of migrants coming across borders. And even in Poland here, look what it says here. Poland has seen an increase in the number of migrants trying to cross from the Belarus border in just recent weeks. According to border guards, over 200 people tried to cross illegally on Friday, including citizens of Morocco, India, and Ethiopia.
Think about how far these people are from their homeland.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like
even in our own country, we have people coming across our borders from over 140 different countries, which
Unreal.
blows my mind.
Unreal.
How do they get south of our border to try to come across?
Well, there is obviously, and we're going to hit on this tonight with the new movie that just came out, Sound of Freedom, of trafficking. Part of the industry of human trafficking now is a very profitable business of moving people into countries to cross borders, not just our country, but every countries all around the world. Because like you just said, many of the countries that are crossing our southern border in the United States are from Africa. And they're very poor. How in the world did they get from
get there?
Africa to Mexico? Right. There is an industry in place that is funding and realizes the way you do.
But it's multifaceted. It's also a lot of fighting age men from multiple countries.
Yes.
So there's more than one thing going on there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There truly is. Now, one more international news, and then we'll start bringing shifting in a different direction. But as we said, last week we covered, France was burning. Paris was on fire.
Yes.
The migrants and all the things that are happening there because of the shooting of the boy. And then, of course, that was the excuse that was used. And then, of course, all of the people in the streets are not, native to the country, not a racial statement, but they're Muslim migrants that are, screaming for Allah and all this while they're burning things. Well, watch what France is doing here. And this is just a preview of what's coming to many other countries because they feel like they can do this. French Assembly passes a bill allowing the police, think about this, allowing police to remotely activate phone cameras and microphones for surveillance. Now, I know this site Engadget. Sandy will tell you I'm a geek.
Yeah.
I've been known about Engadget for a long time. Engadget is a very, very liberal tech site. They are anti-Republican.
So you're saying for them to publish this article?
Very anti-religion, anti-right-wing, anything. They are a very liberal site.
So I noted that right underneath the article title, it said, civil liberty groups are concerned about the potential abuses.
You think? Potential? Potential. It's a potential abuse for you to just turn my camera on remotely and video what I'm doing.
Well, okay. So this article is going to go on to say several different things. Going to talk about for the serious cases and only for a term of 6 months. And I think it goes on to say something about crimes that would be given at least 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like taxes.
Yeah, right.
They never
get reversed.
Away.
Tell me one program that the government has ever did that where they took our tax dollars and gave people money and things like that ever went away. It's never gone away.
So I agree with King Lon. He says our government does this as well. I absolutely believe that. It's a little curious why a liberal news organization wants to talk about this. I mean, to me, it's common sense. Yes, if you're going to get out and protest, do it on this one because this is an invasion of your privacy. Yeah. But yes, of course, it happens in our country, and it's probably far worse than this. You hear if there's any kind of electrical thing in the room that you're in, they can bounce signals or capture your conversations through appliances. I don't know how that works, but
listen to this part here.
It's crazy.
It says that the remote access may depend on security vulnerabilities. Police would be exploiting security holes instead of telling manufacturers how to patch those holes.
Yeah.
So you get what they're saying. They're saying police will find ways in where they should be saying, hey, this to the people that make the phones, hey, we got in this way really easy. You might need to close this.
Work on that.
But they're not going to tell how they got in because they want to get in again. And it says Justice Minister Eric Dupont-Moretti says the powers would only be used for dozens of cases per year. Thank God. And that this would this was far away
so far
from the surveillance of Orwell's 1984. This will save lives. This will save lives.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if my government, any government, tells us we're going to do this, but please, I know you're concerned, but we're doing this for you.
Don't worry about it.
This is for you. We're going to save your lives.
Because we love you.
We're going to make you feel safer.
So much.
This is for your safety.
It makes me think of that phrase.
Run.
I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We're here from the government.
Not.
And we're here to help. Exactly. So moving on to some more concerns here. We talked about it earlier. We hit this very fast because I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but it does need to be talked about.
Yes.
North Korea. We hadn't heard from them in a while.
I was just thinking, they're still out there, too.
They're still out there.
They're still out there headhunting us, right?
So they're like, we're don't forget about us. We're still a threat over here.
Ready to kill us, ready to explode
Yeah.
something over the country and make an EMP and make the power go out. Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
North Korea slams the United States' move to deploy nuclear submarines in their peninsula and accuses the U.S. of using spy planes of violating its airspace and warns such aircraft will be shot down. These are ships from South Korea. The United States and Japan have taken part in a joint naval missile defense exercise, and they condemn the United States' plan to do this. But I want to show you, I believe it's on the next article here that I have. Nope, it's on this one here. So there's a video down here I want to show you. This is when, this dude right here,
Little Kim.
Little Kim. Little Kim.
Not the American artist.
Exactly. Which, by the way, do you know she got saved and baptized?
No, but thank you, Jesus. Did you put some more clothes on?
Little Kim is dressing with no clothes. She got her demonic Illuminati tattoos reversed into crosses, got baptized, renounced the devil.
Okay.
Praise God. Little Kim got saved.
Y'all pray.
For
her safety, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
If she just left Illuminati.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But now, this guy here, he's in the family. He runs in the family, and they're made to be gods. So, he's so popular. He's so popular. When he comes in, everyone claps because they love him so much.
Yeah.
Not because they're afraid they'll be killed.
No, not at all.
North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un received a typically enthusiastic welcome from party members in Pyongyang. But the overall mood of the meeting was somber. North Korea's failed attempt to launch its first spy satellite into space last month was described as the greatest failure. Officials in charge of the mission were criticized and ordered to prepare for another launch as quickly as possible.
The harsh critics of its own failure.
Now you're going to know why I'm showing you this.
Of anxiety and concern inside the ruling party and the republic, because North Korea needs to continuously develop weapons of mass destruction in order to prepare for the eventual negotiations with Washington.
South Korea detected last month's launch from North Korea's main space center. The US says it involved ballistic missile technology, which goes against UN resolutions. The rocket crashed into the sea shortly after takeoff, and South Korea's military salvaged some of the projectile. Analysts say this is what's most worrying North Korea.
So the reason we're showing you this is because, as you just heard the guy say, he's from South Korea and that he studies the threat from up north in North Korea, is that he understands that the way you stay in power is you must continue to be ahead in what they call WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, to sort of stay on some kind of level playing field with the threat of America. So he has openly said, we are going to space not just to surveil. We are going to space to be able to have weapons to kill anybody we want, blow up any nation we want. We are turning space into our military frontier.
They don't want to just be relevant. They want to be seen as a real force, a real player. They want a seat at the table, right?
They really do.
And it is scary to think about those capabilities.
Yeah.
But I've heard people say that little Kim is actually very intelligent.
Yeah, and he's he actually loves American culture. He loves Western culture. He watches movies all the time.
Was it Wesley Snipes that?
No,
It was actual. Was it an athlete?
It was athlete. It was
an athlete. Yes.
Yeah, the
basketball player.
Somebody said in the live chat.
Yes, who was a basketball player that spent time with him?
Yeah, used to be on the Bulls. I can't think of his name right now.
Anyway.
But yeah, he's very into Western culture, and he likes to look at things that we're doing over here. But he has to stay in power and keep people scared.
Yes,
make everybody think that America
fear factor
is
is
evil.
powerful, isn't it?
Yep. And then the other country that is Iran, which is Israel's number one enemy, the number one funder of terrorism around the world, it now says that they moved towards possible atomic bomb test in defiance of Western sanctions. Intelligence reports are saying. New European intelligence reports show that Iran's regime bypassing sanctions to secure technology for its illicit nuclear weapons program and possibly test an atomic bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason we keep telling is like, why are you talking so much about military and all this? Because the world is getting ready.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this is not a catchphrase. They know that World War III is coming.
Yes.
It's in the Bible, and it's coming.
Yep.
You have every region of the world is escalating their military prowess. According to Middle Eastern Media Research Institute, which first, the most shocking revelation in the trove of intelligence data was from the Netherlands General and Intelligence Security Service that determined that Iran's astonishingly fast development of weapons-grade uranium. Where did they get that?
Exactly.
Thank you, Obama. Thank you, Biden, for reinstating it.
Was it actually fast, or are they really a powerhouse that we're don't
just
realize?
Right, that we're trying to say they're just third world country, but they're so far advanced now.
So for those of you who listen to Mike from around the world, you've heard him say, you don't know what they have underground.
Exactly.
You don't know what you can't see that they have developed. You don't know how many they have in their actual army, secret army, military. However, it's phrased. We just don't know enough. And thank you for everyone who said Dennis Rodman. We were trying to figure out who.
Dennis Rodman. Yeah, he was confident in his manhood.
Yeah, we don't talk
That's
about
all
that.
I'm going to say.
No, we could say he was a pioneer.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
He may have been ahead of his time.
He was ahead of his time. Okay.
Enough on that.
Last year,
Back to this.
Iran proceeded with its nuclear program. The country continues to increase stocks 20 to 6%. Okay, like you just said, that's just the numbers they throw out there.
Yes.
But this last line is what we got to say. According to this intelligence report, quote, Iran is further ignoring the agreements that were made within the framework of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the Iran nuclear deal that was lauded, that we put pallets of cash, actual cash, on a plane and sent to them in the billions of dollars in actual cash. They further ignored the treaty that they've had. Say what you want to say about Mean Tweets, but when Mean Tweets was in office, he pulled us out of that. And one of the first things that this current administration come back in, we got to trust them. We got to love them. Let me put my signature back on there. There you go.
Oh, boy.
You still love us? You still love us? You keep coming back, don't you? Some of y'all love to hate us. You keep coming back.
Despite the depressing
exactly.
news we present to you every week. I don't know why y'all keep coming back, so praise God.
That's the way some of y'all feel sometimes. But you know what? You keep coming back because you know that you're not going to hear this stuff. Most of this stuff anywhere else.
And
you're not going to hear it.
Hey, let's do this thing together.
Let's do it together. That's right.
It's very oppressive knowing that I'm trying to figure this out or listen to all this by myself.
That we're not alone.
That we're not alone.
Yeah.
I know I've got my family out there.
Yep.
That we're going through this together. Does make it a little easier for me.
One of the exciting things, Sandy, that's coming up, that's going to start this Thursday night is the Kingdom Intelligence Report.
This is amazing.
This is amazing, y'all. Every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central. Look at this lineup.
I love it.
It's first week, second week, third week, and fourth week. Every month, Paul Begley, Ricky Scaparo from End Time Headlines, Stan Dale, a living legend. that can give us information that you can't get anywhere else.
This is when you need to do your can't touch this dance.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We got to find those pants.
Yeah, my balloon pants, my parachute pants. And then Pastor Mark Carell. Many of you know him, but some of you don't know him. We're going to introduce you to him. This guy is also a legend.
Oh, my.
He is one of the greatest teachers of the Bible and of end times. He has a show right here that's on YouTube called Prophecy in the News. And so every Thursday night, we're going to do a show where we bring these guys on, ask them a few questions, turn them loose to be able to tell us what's going on in this world.
They're all so powerful in their own right. You know,
Yes.
You're just talking about, I'm trying to think now, you may have someone that's in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, like representing those three different.
Yeah, it's true. Decades. Different decades.
I would have
decades.
to verify that, but I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's awesome.
So look at that. One more time. Every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Now we're live. Y'all, some of y'all worried about me. I know. Y'all been saying, my God, how many times you gonna be on there live? I'm worried about you, Larry. You look tired. Some of y'all, so the night, somebody was like, people was commenting, you look tired, Larry. Well, you know why I look tired? Because I'm tired.
He's tired.
Because I'm tired. But
we need some more of that wide awake coffee.
But that's
Send
right.
coffee,
That's right. But I'm on a mission. We're on a mission here. So Monday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night is live now. It's all
He's
awesome.
almost given up on sleeping. So
pretty much.
I'm not joining him on that one yet. So
well, now I want you to think about this next one, y'all. I'm gonna read the headline and then I'm gonna ask you a question. This blows my mind. Judge denies the Department of Justice request for a stay. You know what a stay is? A judge ruled against you or for you or for your person you're against, and you apply for a stay of that judgment. I mean, hold up, please, on that judgment while we appeal it, while we present more evidence. So the Department of Justice requested a stay of the judgment that came down on the social media censorship case. Now, I want you to listen to this. A federal judge on July 10th, today, denied the Department of Justice request to stay a ruling that places limits on the government's communications with social media firms, rejecting the White House's argument that such an order could put a damper on law enforcement activity online. Although the preliminary injunction involves numerous agencies, it's not as broad as it appears. It only prohibits something the defendants have no legal right to do, contacting social media companies for the purpose of urging, encouraging, pressuring, or inducing in any manner the removal, deletion, suppression, or reduction of content containing protected free speech posted on social media platforms. Now, I want you to understand this article.
Break it down. Let's go.
I want to break this down to you.
Please.
A federal judge told the Biden Department of Justice, you cannot pressure Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram to censor people's their posts. You cannot tell them to take down things. You cannot tell them to penalize people for talking about subjects. And you cannot illegally go in and get transcripts of communications, go into the direct messages and read what people are talking about, what they thought was privately. You do not have the right to go into the private world of someone's social media life. And the Department of Justice, our president and our government appealed that. And said, please don't take that away from us. That is what this is saying. They are saying, what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That means we have no idea how deep the United States government has just taken for granted that they can go into anything you do on this. Yep. Anything you say. Turn on your microphone. You saw France. We just covered it. Going to turn on your camera. They want the ability to turn on and leave it on nonstop. And now you say, you know, what long ago people would say, well, they ain't got your camera on all the time and got your microphone all the time. There's not enough people to listen to that. They don't need people. They got AI.
Yes.
Sandy, your comments. Our government appealed this.
Listen, if we've not talked about this on this show already, you and I have certainly talked about it with each other.
Yes.
And this stuff's been going on and going on. And it's deep and it's intrusive and it's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong.
Listen, my wife, we're driving down the road, we'll start talking about people, and my wife will go, and I'm just like, what? She goes, she'll go, huh?
It's not talking about people, but
No,
it is
no.
talking about certain things where I'm like,
Do we really want people to know?
well,
Ain't nothing bad. I'm just saying,
I don't think-
private conversation.
okay, so this is my thought. They are listening, but they're
Yeah.
not just listening. They're recording. They're storing what you do, what you say, your digital communication, your verbal communication. Why would they do that? Why would anyone ever have an interest in doing that?
Exactly.
Because they want to pull it up later to use it against you.
Yeah.
And yeah, a human being is not being used. AI is
Right.
going to comb through those servers
Yep.
and pull devastating words or phrases or what they may perceive as threats
Yep.
that you made and use it against you in the future.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we say things flippantly. We're just kidding around. We don't really
Yeah.
we're
No,
not
no.
going to do things that we say,
Right.
but AI may not understand that, or maybe
Yeah.
they do, but they find a loophole and a way to use it against you successfully.
Absolutely. So
We don't need this.
we don't need it. And
Thank God Russell Brand's going to save us. I'm sorry.
she sees things you don't see. She
I
sees the next one coming up.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I
Okay.
know.
I know.
You can.
No.
I can't.
No. I'm not a
do-
big fan either.
I can't do it.
I know. Russell Brand.
can't.
Okay, come on. Russell Brand. He's a comedian. He's a new age guru. Sits out in the fields holding his crystals.
And he probably isn't wearing shoes.
He's not wearing shoes. He's still in the hippie era. He still thinks that we need to see his chest hair. Doing an interview, Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen, his first interview with anybody after he's done his show, but he's not been interviewed by anybody since he was fired by Fox News. He goes on Russell Brand.
Somehow it's expedient for him to choose or allow the first one.
And honestly, it's because Russell Brand, he got red pilled. He really did during the wah-wah. And he is talking about things on his show that nobody else is talking about. So that's one of the reasons. But I'm just looking at the picture and I'm seeing, he's in his, his shirt there, his
he
jacket.
forgot to wear a shirt? I mean, what?
No, I'm talking about
Does he have
Tucker,
one on?
Tucker.
Okay,
Tucker's looking like Tucker, and he's looking
Tucker.
across the table at Russell Brand. But now watch this. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get flagged or not because this is still this is a no-no. But he says January 6th, which I think I could say January 6th. It's actually an actual day on our calendar, okay? It's still just a day on our calendar. Can you say January 6th
It's
now?
one of those hot button things. You
I mean,
better-
it's still a day. I mean, when January 6th
is a
comes
real day.
around, you still have to say.
but it's taken on another life as well.
Exactly.
And I don't mean that flippantly.
Yeah,
that
it
was
really has.
very serious.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you say Jan 6,
Yeah.
that's a hot button
Yeah,
issue.
everybody knows. It's like 9/11. Okay. So January 6th crowd was filled with federal agents. By the way, you two lords that are listening, according to Tucker Carlson. Just so you know that. I'm just reading Tucker Carlson's words. According to Tucker Carlson, January 6th crowd was filled with federal agents per the recall of the Capitol Police Chief in an interview that Fox News killed. This is why so many people has left Fox News. Former Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson has recalled Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund telling him that the crowd on January 6th was, quote, filled with federal agents. In a stunning interview that was killed off by Rupert Murdoch and Paul Ryan, used to be a senator or something, Fox News,
Right.
speaking to comedian Russell Brand, quote, they immediately recoiled when you ask any questions about January 6th, and that was a tip-off to me. I mean, I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen on television in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. It never crossed my mind. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble. Should I try this? Should I try to play this video?
Please do.
Because I'm going to try. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Walk on the wild
They
side.
immediately recoiled when you asked any questions about January 6th. And that was a tip-off to me. I mean, I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen on television and in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. That never crossed my mind. I never thought that it was a false flag or anything like that. I'm not a conspiracist by temperament. I never thought that. And then I interviewed the chief of the Capitol Police, Stephen Sund, in an interview that was never aired on Fox, by the way. I was fired before it could air. I'm going to interview him again. But Stephen Sund was the totally non-political, worked for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this was not some right-wing activist. He was the chief of the Capitol Police on January 6th. And he said, oh, yeah. That crowd was filled with federal agents. What? Yes. Well, he would know, of course, because he was in charge of security at the site. So the more time has passed, now it's been...
Wow.
Can we just stop right there?
Wow.
What I'm going to say doesn't completely verify it, but we did have someone come into our life who was at the January 6th.
Yep.
He was there at the event.
He was there.
And I don't want to say too much.
We know this person. This is not just somebody that random. We know this person.
I would never say reveal their identity.
Exactly.
But did pretty much verify, if not in the exact wording, he told us, listen, there was some funny business going on there.
Yep.
Things were not how they were presented in the media.
Yep. He did not go in the Capitol. He was outside, but he witnessed people dressed with red hats on. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That was going up when people were being trampled and so forth, and doing things to them, putting hats on them,
yes,
making them look like certain things. So look, we're not saying that people do not need to. I don't care what the reason. You don't go into the Capitol. If you went in the Capitol, even if the doors were open and you're invited in, there should be repercussions for that. If you were violent, you should be punished for that. So we're not saying that there was not illegal things going on, violent things going on, but we are saying, and I think more and more people are beginning to open up their eyes, and they've thought it for a while, but they're feeling a little bit more free to say it, is that this thing was not in any way, shape, or form the way it was spun on the media.
And let's not forget, people are still incarcerated.
Right.
That cannot even see their families.
In solitary confinement. Never been charged.
Never been charged.
Never even been charged.
Just the one thing, just
America.
Everything around those poor individuals is very sketchy, very questionable. And let's not forget that the one lady, Ashley, she did lose her life.
She did.
So
in the narrative, and I hate that there was a couple of policemen that died, but they did not die there. Right. They died separately, of a stroke and something else. The only person that died that day was Ashley Babbitt. Okay, and that you can't even say that name. By the way, that's going to give me a flag right there. You can't even say the name of a human being that was killed.
Because it's so inflammatory.
It's so inflammatory.
Yep.
So, okay. So as we move on and move off of that, I just want you to know that if you want to go watch it, I'm not going to play the whole interview, but you have to go to Rumble because YouTube will not allow you to play it. Only the first 15 minutes of his interview are on YouTube on his channel. And then he says, everybody that's on YouTube, you better go over to Rumble. You can't watch the rest of it because YouTube won't allow it. So I don't know. I keep pushing this envelope every week. That's why I'm trying to build that YouTube channel, because I know one day that YouTube's just going to say, you got to go. I mean, you causing too much trouble. Rumble.com/Larry Ragland. But I've been known to cause a little trouble.
Well, funny you should say that. I was just sitting here thinking, over the years, you've been accused of causing trouble a couple times. Of that.
But it's always been with a loving, caring heart, because I really want to just help people. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move right along to this next article here.
Yes. One of our favorite ladies.
More embarrassment. Treasury Secretary Yellen literally bows to the China counterpart, describes official China trip as successful. Yeah, that's not how I would define it. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen described her official trip to China as successful on the Sunday news program Face the Nation. Never, ever, ever Listen, this is former senior staffer in George W. Bush's White House, Bradley Blakeman. Never, ever, ever does an American official bow. It looks like she's been summoned to the principal's office, and that's exactly the optics that China loves. Look at this. I want to show you this video. I want you to notice one big thing here. Notice our Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. Right. Notice their Chinese vice premier, and see if he does what she does. Bow, 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 bow. Did he bow? No. That's a short clip, but I want you, this is America. Oh, my Lord. This is our reputation now. Yeah. This is our reputation in the country. We go over there. We're supposed to be the most powerful country in the world, and the country that's working overtime to replace us, and probably already has, as the wealthiest and most powerful, influential country in the world.
Is it all over but the crying? I mean,
it's what it looks like. I mean, he's just standing there
every week.
And she's like,
what was it a couple of weeks ago? Who did we send? Oh, come off the plane. One of our officials, representatives, had no one of any stature.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody met him. Nobody met him. There was no band. There was no officials. There was nobody. He's looking around. He
practically had to hail his own taxi.
Yeah.
Taxi, somebody pick me up.
I think that was our Secretary of State.
I can't remember who it was that went over about a month ago, whatever. I don't know.
Well, we ain't talked about the wah-wah in a while. I think it's time that we talk about the wah-wah just for a little bit.
Yes. I need a wah-wah segment.
The wah-wah. The UK National Health Secretary Director of, quote, end-of-life care. Boy, I'm walking the line tonight, y'all. I'm just sort of walking. I'm trying to find every single reason for y'all to go to Rumble.
This one may take it over the edge.
This may take over time. Confirms that doctors lied about the wah-wah being the cause of death to create an illusion of a pandemic. When 4 different diseases, listen to this, are grouped and now being called, I think I can say COVID-19. I think I probably got flagged. I'm not sure. So that's the only time I'm going to say it tonight. YouTube, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. The wah-wah. You will inevitably see the wah-wah with a huge death rate. The mainstream media was reporting on this huge increase in wah-wah deaths due to the medical examiner's system that was in place. Quote, patients dying with very common conditions such as old age, myocardial, how you say that?
Myocardial infarctions, heart attacks, basically.
What she said. End-stage kidney failures, hemorrhages, strokes, COPD, cancer, etc. We're all now being certified as wah-wah via the medical examiner system. Quote, hospitals were incentivized.
Yep. That means
money. Were incentivized to report wah-wah deaths over normal deaths, as the government was paying hospitals additional money for every wah-wah death. We heard the rumors of that, but now it's being confirmed, was being reported. He went on to say, I have no doubt in my mind that the government, and I'm not going to use these words here, I'm going to let you read them, but I'm going to say, knew something was coming because in 2016, they first proposed the change to medical death certification.
That's the first time I've heard that.
And look at the line there. This could be the most important report of our time. And you can read it right there. You can go to
click on that right there.
Right there. And and of course it's video, so you can't click it on the video, but global research, take a screenshot of that, whatever you want to do. I'll try my best to link it down below, but I know I won't, because if I link it down below, the algorithm will get me. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not tinfoil hat. We are on the ground here in Birmingham. We have one of the largest medical hospital organizations in the world, one of the most respected. We had people that worked there that were telling us that. They were telling us that they oversaw the passing of of particular patients that died of heart attacks, that died in car wrecks. We were told by people that they oversaw the death in the emergency rooms of people in car wrecks and gunshot deaths, and were tested positive for the wah-wah, and on their death certificate was cause of death wah-wah.
Exactly. So, okay, here's something. Of course, a hospital is going to bow down or buy into that because it means money.
Yep.
Money, money, money.
Yep.
Okay, there's the one side of it. The other side, nobody's coming to verify.
Right.
So why wouldn't you, right?
Right. Yeah. And the pressure was put on by the upper people saying, don't talk about this because if you do, we're going to lose our funding. Because the truth is, everybody was not in business then, but the hospitals were in business. Yeah. And for a lot of people, the big pharma, they made more money during this than any time in their history.
Oh, my goodness.
Trillions.
So much money. Yep. Pharmaceutical industry is huge.
So, a lot of people wonder, well, okay, I'll give you that one. But have they got anything else planned? Have you been watching this show? Agenda 2030 is coming. And they've already done the practice run for a potential next wah-wah that we have covered in depth here with a so-called made-up wah-wah called SEER, S-E-E-R. And then we're watching Mike from Around the World on Paul Begley's show. He begins to tell us about a virus that's breaking out in Japan and other places called SEERS. Yeah. So who knows what's really going to be out there, but I want to show you this article right here. The United Nations is set to launch, quote, global shocks planned just prior, think of the timing,
oh boy,
to the United States presidential election. If you remember, right during the election, nobody could debate. Certain candidates stayed in their basement.
Yeah, that was very convenient to certain people.
And still got 81 million votes from their basement. It's amazing.
It is.
I think you won like 38 counties, something like that in the country, still got 81. It is a literal political miracle, y'all. I'm still amazed at this miracle. Because it's legitimate. It's legitimate. I want you to know, YouTube, it's legitimate. It's real. Just prior to the U.S. presidential election, it's real, Sandy. It's real. It's real. The powerful United Nations is now seeking to increase its influence worldwide by seizing global emergency powers. We've been talking about it on this show.
Yes.
And President Joe Biden supports their proposal. I'm shocked. Interestingly, the United Nations proposal would begin September of 2024.
Whoa.
Boy, that's interesting. A mere 2 months before a highly anticipated general election in the United States. The global organization will host a, quote, summit of the future. How many summits do they need a year? Associated Nations will adopt a so-called Pact for the Future. All of this is going to be adopted 2 months prior to the election. The pact or agreement would set in place multiple policy reforms offered by the United Nations in past years as part of, quote, our common agenda platform. While there are several aggressive proposals, including in the agenda, none are as disconcerting as the United Nations plan for their emergency platform, which would provide the international organization significant powers in times of global shocks, such as another global wah-wah. Now, we have covered here, Sandy, this is the United Nations, but we have covered the World Health Organization, right. Their proposal they have on board, which no nation has pushed back on, including our own and yours as well. No nation has tried to stop it. That would, in essence, give global powers.
So much power.
So you got the United Nations saying they are seeking global power, and you've got the World Health Organization saying they want to introduce their contract to give global power in case of a wah-wah.
And our government saying, yeah, that seems like a great idea. Come on in. I've got 5 different pens here. Got all my pens ready. We're ready to sign away.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's troubling. It's scary. I don't live in fear. But this is really bothersome, and this would be good reason for people to demonstrate. If you're looking for a cause and something to demonstrate in our country and really around the world.
Yeah.
Very,
absolutely.
very scary.
Absolutely. And, you know, I just feel like I want to say one thing before we move off the wham-wham, because I want to make sure people understand that we are not, and I want to say this from the bottom of my heart, and Sandy feels the same way. We are not belittling it as it wasn't real.
No.
We know that it was real. We want everyone to know we know that this was a very real thing.
COVID was very real.
It's very
and
real.
People died and people suffered, and some
Yes.
people are still struggling
Yes.
with the after effects.
And some people actually died of the wham-wham.
Yes.
And so we're not belittling
But
that.
to be dishonest and
yeah.
for the government to promote and be
Yeah.
the catalyst for
Right.
people to say, it was COVID. These people
It was
died from
disgusting.
COVID.
Some of the things that people did was disgusting. One particular thing, and I'm going to try not to cry because I get so emotional thinking about it, was because one of my absolute greatest friends in the whole wide world, my greatest encourager,
Yes.
one of the leaders and elders in this church, we lost him during that time.
Yes, we did.
And he was family to me. And I was at the hospital the day that he passed, and his whole family. I was there waiting on his whole family. His whole family got there. And this is how disgusting it was. He was gone. He was with the Lord. He was gone. His family wanted to go up in the room. No one was in the room when he passed because they wouldn't let anybody in the room, even his own family. And but when it was time to go up and say their goodbyes, you know, I'm there. I'm their pastor. I'm their pastor. I'm his pastor. I'm one of his best friends in the whole entire world. The man called me every single week of my life as he was here and stood in the back of the church every Sunday and welcomed me. And his family is probably watching it right now, and they're probably crying. So I get ready to go up with the family. They would not let me go up.
Right.
They would not let me go up with the family. And I said, listen, I'm their pastor. They see me every week. They want me to go up there. I'll wear a mask. I'll wear a shield. I'll do what I'll put a hazmat suit on, whatever you need me to do. I said, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He's not even in this world anymore. He's with the Lord. This is his family. I'm standing here with him right now. Can I please go up there and just pray for the family by his side? They would not let me go, Sandy. So that's how people lost their minds during this.
Right.
They just lost their minds.
There's safety, and let's use precaution when it's needed. But then there's just not having good judgment and not making good decisions.
Exactly.
And you were a victim of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, you could have helped in that moment. People needed you.
Wow.
And it was just.
Robert, I just happened to look up here. Robert Hire says, I'm wah injured, and I live with it every night with shortness of breath. Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray for Robert right now, that God, you will touch his lungs, that there shall be no more effects of this thing, and that God, he will be healed right now in the name of Jesus. Can anybody in the live chat agree with me in the name of Jesus? I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that we've missed that we're going to go back and read about this subject, that we're going to pray for every one of you. But we believe in the name of Jesus. All right. So
we'll be reading all of your comments when the show's over, when we can spend time to look at each and every one of them. But this is a reality. They call it long COVID. There are other names for it, but it's very serious.
Yep.
So what you said earlier, we don't diminish that COVID was a real thing.
No.
That some people did pass away, and others suffered it and are still suffering. But it's the dishonesty, the deception.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
That's what we're angry about, is that the elite and the powers that want to, their agenda that they have for control in place, they seized this demonic disease, and they used it to take away liberties and, quite frankly, to harm and devastate families.
Yes.
I lost my mom during it. I'm standing in a room, the last moments of my mom's life. They bring me and my brother in there to put a mask on us, put a face shield on us, to stand in the room alone, me and my brother. They shut the door on us, made us wear a mask and a face shield and a complete hazmat clothing on, to stand next to my mother that they said would not make it through the night. Thankfully, and I don't want to get her in trouble. I don't know her name, so I can't get her in trouble. Thankfully, the doctor walked in, and the doctor's eyes filled with, she almost started crying. And she looked at me and she said, take that thing off and spend time with your mama. Yeah. She said, take that off and go over there and kiss your mama.
I mean, it was rough even during the last 2
She was
years
gone the
of
next
her
night.
life.
Yeah.
Going to try and visit. And, you know, in those early days of COVID, we didn't know.
No.
And everyone was just, you know, kind of on standby, waiting to see, you know, what this is going to be, what we need to do.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to jeopardize anyone else.
No.
But to go and have a visit, the things that you would
goodness.
have to do, you know, mask up, gown up.
Talk through a shower curtain. They hung a shower curtain between me and
To
my
put
mother.
a barrier. Yeah.
And we're sitting on the side of the shower curtain, and my mama, who had dementia, is trying to touch me through the shower curtain.
She can't understand.
She can't understand. But we need to move on because
We
I'm
need to move
about.
on. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just.
Listen. Everybody that was touched and harmed and hurt by this, Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, this was evil what they did to us. It's evil what the devil did. This come from the pits of hell. This thing came from the pits of hell. And I pray for everybody that was hurt.
Yes.
Everybody that lost.
Yes.
And everybody that's still hurting.
Yes.
It ain't right what they did.
No, some of it was too
It
far.
ain't right.
Some of it went too far.
Okay. All right. So if I was Paul Begley, I'd play a song right now.
That's right.
I need a song.
We sure would.
I need a song. I need a song like a old-fashioned tent revival, whatever, fireworks stand that he plays or something like that trains the moon.
Something.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, how about this? How about we just shift the mood here and just say, have you ever wondered about aliens? Aliens, aliens. Go find this video about aliens.
You need to watch that. That was good stuff.
That
there.
was an awesome video by Standout.
was.
All right, so let's move on. We still got a little bit of time. We ain't but an hour and 20 minutes. We go 2 hours on this show. Y'all
We
still
got
with
42 more minutes.
us? Come on. If y'all had not smashed
we're
that
gonna
like button,
bring it.
we gonna bring it. We ain't scared. Smash that like button if you've been blessed by tonight's show. All right, so now let's move to the economy. That's some breaking news that are going on in the economy. This is just a sad thing to even report on here, y'all. But if you're in the market for a car, by the way, don't look at this and think it's the Babylon Bee. If you ever see something that says not the Bee, that's their news site. This is not satire. This is not them making a joke or a meme. This is real.
You're trying to be serious.
They're serious. This is a serious site. We are in the least affordable car market in modern history, according to CEO of car shopping app Copilot.
Yeah, I can believe that. God help you if you're going to buy a new truck.
Absolutely. Says it is the least affordable to buy a car ever per CNBC, with just 8% of new vehicles costing under $30,000.
8%?
8% of new vehicles under $30,000.
My first house didn't cost a lot more than that.
Yeah, it was like, well, I think that's what we paid. $30,000.
Of course, we had to put at least that much in it,
I
but
know
still.
it. But we
the
bought
point.
a house. We bought a house for $30,000. It is the least affordable car market in modern history. You can see the spike of the prices there. The average price of a new vehicle in 2016 was $34,000. Now it's $48,000. The question is, are you making 41% more than 2016?
Exactly.
No, you're not. Today, new car prices under $30,000 make up just 8% of the car market, down from 38% pre-pandemic, car shopping app Copilot found. So before the wah-wah, 38% of new cars were under $30,000. Now only 8% are.
I knew that inflation was on the rise, but it has truly taken hold in this market, right?
The average transaction price for new cars, $47,892 in May.
Oh, my goodness.
Now 10% of all vehicles sold cost more than $70,000. What? 10%, more than 10% of every new vehicle sold is more than $70,000?
Well, here's a question. Okay. Here's two questions. How many years are you having to finance that? And
Exactly.
what interest rate?
Well, you know, some people are financing 10 years. I even saw somebody offering a 12-year, but they're doing 10 years now. 10 years. On the flip side, there are fewer options. It is insane. Fewer options available at lower price points, with just 0.3% of new vehicles sold cost less than $20,000, compared to 8% 5 years ago. So When you get to $20,000 or less, it's not even 0.5%. Wow. Unreal.
Go scroll back up. What did that say? 2002, a family could buy a brand new Honda Odyssey minivan starting at $24,690. Today, it's $38,835.
For the base trim. For the base model. In 2016, $24,690 of 2002 money would be worth roughly $33,000. But in 7 short years, we've jumped the inflation shark. What you came to expect in 2015 to 2020 is dead. That same $24,690 now requires $42,000 to equal the same spending power because our politicians played games with our money and gave free money away and just printed money. That's the world we live in. Wow.
Oh, boy.
But at least we got Walmart. Walmart's still, wait a minute. Yeah. Middle class can't afford Walmart prices as massive increases hit stores. Walmart's prices are rising at a brisk pace in 2023. While consumers are seeing the cost of everyday essentials go through the roof, the company's executive said that food inflation is likely to persist for much longer than expected. Food inflation. At the same time, the retail giant's profits are reaching near records. Imagine that. So their profits are reaching records. But the vast majority of Americans haven't seen their incomes rising accordingly. And that's especially true for middle-income households. Right now, middle-class workers are coping with the highest cost of living in decades, and many of them can no longer afford to shop at Walmart.
That is quite the statement.
What the statement?
I've been hearing that for weeks, if not months. It's very concerning.
It's very concerning because that's sort of the gauge.
Yeah, you're right.
of where we're at. It says they're flocking to discount stores instead. In fact, the chain's CEO, Doug McMillon, revealed that 75% of Walmart's new customers are upper-income Americans.
75% of the new customers are...
What in the world? Of their new customers are upper-income. You know, the former Target and the former that would never go to Walmart.
They were going to Whole Foods, right?
Oh, yeah, they're going to Whole Foods. Yeah, oh, yeah. But now they're going to Walmart. Of Americans, 75% of new customers at Walmart make over 6 figures a year. Where the people that were of the elite 6-figure people, a lot of them would never be seen in Walmart. But this indicates there's something extremely wrong with the American middle class right now. Yeah. This group is known worldwide for its purchasing power and economic strength. By the way, most all economies are driven by the middle class. Yeah. That is the absolute force of the economy is the middle class. And now they can't afford to shop at Walmart, Sadie.
No.
Wow. And what is it being fueled by? Food inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, you do the shopping in our house. Take a couple of seconds and talk about what you've seen in food.
It just keeps rising and keeps rising. And we've gone through these periods where you go in the store and they're out of one thing. Next week, it's back, but they're out of something else. We had the craziness with eggs a couple of months ago. Eggs were literally right at $5 at Walmart. They may have gone a little higher. Thank goodness that didn't last long and that started coming back down. But it's just one thing after another. And no matter what's in or what's out, those prices are steadily creeping higher and higher.
Yeah. In the last part of this article, it says, during the past 3 quarters, most of Walmart's growth in the grocery segment was fueled by customers with annual incomes higher than $100,000. Meanwhile, inflation has prompted middle-class shoppers to rethink their consumption strategies. And over the past couple of years, many Americans started feeling substantially poorer whenever they shop for groceries or hit the gas pump. Right. Data released by the Pew Research Center shows that 71% of middle-class workers say their incomes are not keeping up with the rising cost of living. And now these consumers are currently looking for value to save money.
Well, how long till it goes to pure survival? And I saw someone in comments a couple of minutes ago talking about fixed income, that their rent went up and their utilities went up and food cost went up, and that they were struggling with it because the budget's so tight because it's fixed income to start with.
And by the way, we got some of the funniest live chat people in the world. Every once in a while I just look up there. They said, I bet they still wear pajamas, just higher priced. I love that. Oh, man. Y'all, if you just knew how hard we laughed when we read this live chat, when we go off the air tonight, we just sit here and we just read everyone.
I wish we could play People of Walmart video.
Yeah, that would have been great for that. But look, we go to Walmart ourselves, okay? We're people of Walmart. We don't like to go there.
Yes, I don't usually wear my pajamas, but apparently it's an option. So,
but in the midst of the economy, in the midst of all the stuff that's going on, Sandy, we are so thankful that our government and the world elites are looking out for us to digitize our money so that we don't have to worry about being robbed. We don't have to worry about, all our money, we'll just put it in our phone.
No limitations for your money, your desires, anything that you want to do, your plans.
But the good thing is, it's all on our phone. This is not the mark of the beast, nothing like that. Don't freak out, go conspiracy on me.
Nothing to do with that.
It's going to just be a QR code. There's no way that they would ever, sorry. World Economic Forum, there they are. Can we get through a week without the World Economic Forum? You shall eat the bugs.
Of course we can't.
They say that if CBDC is going to work, look how fast this is going.
It is.
We went from trying to program people to think about buying something with their phone to they're already going here. The World Economic Forum says that CBDCs must be implanted under your skin if you want to participate in society. What? They have declared that all citizens must be implanted with a CBDC microchip in the very near future in order to be able to fully participate in society and do basic things such as, here we go again, purchase what? Food and water. According to Professor Richard Werner, in the very near future, citizens will, quote, need to use the latest technology such as a CBDC chip implant, in order to access their bank accounts.
And you said the words, very near future.
That's what he said. In the very near future. Very near future for them is expedited.
You guys out there, you need to be listening to this.
Professor Richard Werner is an economist and a professor of banking and finance. He is known as the proponent of a new post-crisis monetary policy he called quantitative easing, QE, which is proposed in Japan in 1995 as chief economist of a British investment bank. He has also worked as researcher at the University of Oxford, the Bank of Japan, the Development Bank of Japan, Asian Development Bank. So this he's got a pedigree here.
Yeah.
He is involved in supporting the establishment of the non-for-profit community banks. And on exposednews.com, it reported that at the Amsterdam Science Summit in 2022, he gave a lecture on central bank digital currencies and the 2030 agenda. So last year, he's talking about CBDCs and how they will be used in Agenda 2030 that we seem to talk about every single week.
Every week. Yeah.
The sidelines of this year's Amsterdam Science Summit, he spoke to Ivor Cummins about CBDCs, about how high inflation has been orchestrated by central banks to further their agenda. And he goes on to say everything that we've read, that if it's going to work, they're going to push. It says, look at this right here. When an economy is experiencing deflation, that's how central banks can push money into the economy directly. I'm going to skim this down. It says you have to think of CBDCs as a control system or a permit system, not a currency.
I can't believe he said that.
Wow.
We talk about that almost every single week, if not every week. But to see that in print, Wow.
Listen to what he goes on to say, Sandy. It is a conditional currency based on you actually getting that permit. Now, if you happen to be some kind of critic of government policy or a critic of central banks, this could be difficult. Or if you dare to step out of the 15-minute city zone, you know, maybe you'll find that, oh, my CBDC is not working outside of this 15-minute city.
This is a quote.
This is a quote from him at this conference. There are things we've seen already in China. There's plenty of videos where someone tries to use their money to buy a ticket, and it doesn't work because their social credit scores are too low.
Oh, my goodness.
They're saying it out loud, y'all.
Yes.
Why are they saying it out loud, Sandy? They're saying it out loud because they know it's coming.
Well,
it's a part of Agenda 2030.
This is part we don't want to hear, but they're saying it out loud because in their mind, it's too late for us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too late for anything to be done. It's too late for anything to change it.
That's what they think. Remember that old bumper sticker? You can have my gun when you pry it from my cold dead fingers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I would go be with Jesus before you put an implant in me. I'm just going to say it. Just saying right now.
And a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, you can put no implant in me.
I know they're lining up to get their chips so they don't have to pull out keys and card keys to get in their offices and their buildings or buy snacks out of the machine. But there are far more people who do not want that.
It ain't happening. Ain't happening. And look, I'm not saying that a microchip in my hand is the mark of the beast, but you better know that's a step to it if it ain't.
I believe that.
And you know, the truth is, I believe the Bible.
Yes.
Okay? All right. Yes. A lot of chaos going on in this world. We got about 25 minutes left in the show.
We're going to use every one of them.
We're going to use every single one of them. It's going to be a quality 25 minutes. Quality.
We're going to enrich your life.
Going to enrich your life. Do you love the Bible? I love the Bible. Every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, right here, live, I teach the Bible. Right now we're teaching the book of Revelation verse by verse. If you want to learn more about the Bible, join us on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Now, let me tell you something. Part of my young childhood and part of my growing up, my friends, Delane's on here, my friends that I went to school with, high school, man, there was Star Wars. There was, these were the movies, Star Wars and the franchise of Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, come on. Right. Who didn't love Indiana Jones?
I loved it. And you know what? If we had been really smart and really woke back then, or awake back then, we would have realized they were trying to tell us things.
Yeah, they were. They really were.
Things were embedded into those movies. Mainly about the Nazis.
Let me tell you, this woman has ruined me. Not ruined me, but she's the one that red pilled me, y'all. Okay. And the truth is, I can't watch none of my movies that I've grew up with now. It's like I can't go watch any. I'm like, oh my God, what were they saying there? Are you serious? They were telling me that in
There's
the 80s?
a D code in there somewhere, and we've got to find it.
So Indiana Jones is now they just play doing these movies because they're money grabs.
Oh my God!
And they're propping these people up. They're in the 80s. They're in the 90s. They can barely move. They're like, if a president can do it, Indiana Jones can jump out of a building and all this kind of stuff.
I'm sure that's exactly what they said to sell him on this one.
Yeah. So here we got Harrison Ford, and everybody just assumed this was going to be a huge hit. And I can't even believe I'm saying this.
I know, it's so hard to believe.
I can't believe that an Indiana Jones movie has already come out, and I had no desire to go see it because I love Indiana Jones. Well, it's because you go woke, you go broke, y'all, and Disney has lost their mind. Disney, and now some of y'all have seen it. I've seen some of your reviews saying this is great, nostalgic, and all this kind of stuff, but it's just not Indiana Jones. And they say that when you really look in, there's a lot of ESG scores in there. There's a lot of things they're doing for the ESG crowd.
Oh my goodness!
But Disney's Indiana Jones 5 dead as a doornail, with the second place finish to watch this to a movie called Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, we like that part.
Now, if you hadn't seen Sound of Freedom in the replay, I'll put it right here. If you made it to this point, I'll put a little link right above here. You'll see it magically appear right above Sandy's head. It'd be like right there. Smile, Sandy, look real pretty, because right above your head is going to be a link to a video right above her head. And it'll take you to a video that I did on Sound of Freedom. But let's look into this, and then we're going to say something about this movie, and I want to tell everybody to go see this movie. After a dismal, this is unbelievable, Indiana Jones, $60 million opening, the Disney grooming, can I say that word without getting flagged? I guess I did. Syndicate, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny collapsed somewhere between 50 to 60% with a dreadful $25 to $28 million second weekend and couldn't even manage one consecutive first-place finish. Yeah, I can't even believe I'm saying
I know. It's
that Raiders of the Lost Ark,
hard to believe.
Indiana Jones could not stay number one for 2 weeks. Yeah. For 2 weeks. What had once been one of the most popular and bulletproof franchises ever created finally met its match with Kathleen, the franchise killer, Kennedy. She killed Star Wars. Now she's killed Indiana Jones. And our entertainment identity politics. Kennedy might blah 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 blah, but this is the movie that beat him out.
Yeah, look at that.
It's Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, he'll always be Jesus to me. Okay,
I cannot. Were they not previewing this at the NRB?
Yes, they were.
And we didn't have time to
we
go.
We didn't have time to go see it at the NRB. They were doing private screenings.
Gosh.
But we're going to see it this week. Now, we have full disclosure. We have not. If we're going to see it tomorrow night, the time of this live, we're going to see it tomorrow night because we're encouraging everybody to go see this movie while it's in theater. Don't wait till it gets to streaming. Go see it in the theaters so that they can be supported financially to make more movies like this. But this movie is called Sound of Freedom. Many of you, if you've seen it in the live chat in the comment section, let us know what you thought about it if you've already seen it. But I want to show you this. You always know it's a powerful movie when the leftist media begins to try to attack. Now, this is not a movie about, come out on July 4th, it's not a movie about freedom of a nation.
No.
It's called Sound of Freedom because it's the freedom of human trafficking, children being freed, children being sold into slavery and being traded into slavery. But the leftist media outlets began to attack Sound of Freedom movie. Think about this. This should make you want to go see the movie if nothing else. They claim the anti-child trafficking film is, I don't know if you can say this word either. I'm so sick of this.
Yes.
I can say it on Rumble. Shameless plug. Yep. Go to Rumble, rumble.com/Larry Ragland, because that's maybe where I end up being. But let me go back to this because I want to show you this. Fantasy for the conspiracy. This is I'm going to go ahead and say it. They call this a QAnon fantasy for the conspiracy-addled boomer. That's how you describe a movie? That the people that have gone to see it see it as one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
I've heard multiple people say that.
Cinematography, the music, the acting, the script writing, phenomenal. Not to mention the message is about freeing children from slavery.
Yep. And horrible,
but not just slavery. We know what kind of slavery we're talking about here.
Yes.
But you can't. That is absolutely something you can't say.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
They want to call it a map now. They want to call it minor attractive person. But you can't say what this is really about, or you'll get flagged, kicked off for saying what it's about. Several leftist media outlets have slammed the new Sound of Freedom movie, claiming the anti-child trafficking film is a QAnon fantasy for the conspiracy-addled boomer. Let me read this to you real quick. This is based on an incredible true story that shines a light on even the darkest of places. After rescuing a young boy from ruthless child traffickers, a federal agent learns the boy's sister is still captive and decides to embark on a dangerous mission to save her. With the time running out, he quits his job and journeys deep into the Colombian jungle, putting his life on the line to free her from a fate worse than death. And it's a movie about a man that worked for Department of Homeland Security. I can't think of his name right now. Should be right here. Look what Rolling Stone says. Rolling Stone said the title of their review, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brain worms. It says it's a QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer.
What a choice of words.
Exactly. Accuses the movie of fomenting moral panic for years over this grossly exaggerated epidemic of child sex trafficking, much of it funneling people into conspiracist rabbit holes in conspiracy communities. Can I say something very boldly without going any further? I don't even know if I'm still on here. When you say things like this, tell me you are a wah-wah without telling me you are a wah-wah. Did y'all understand what I just said? Tell me you are a part of this and you don't want it to go away without telling me you are a part of this and you don't want it to go away. You are sick. Yeah. I don't care if you loved a movie. A lot of these people are just mad at the movie because Jim Caviezel, because he played Jesus.
Right.
They blacklisted and turned him on for that. They're not ever going to support anything he does. But then he's going on these interviews saying, we've seen some of them, and he's calling them out. Yes. He ain't just telling people to go see the movie. He's like, I'm telling you why I'm going to see the movie, why I made this movie, because I've been in the industry, and this is what they're doing. He's talking about demonic Baal, what they did to Baal. That's what he's talking about. I know people who've done this. And they're saying he's got tinfoil hat on and all this. Go see this movie. Listen, you need to go see this movie because the world needs their eyes open. These same people that want you to live in a 15-minute city, these same people that want to take your money away, they want to take your guns away, they want to take your freedom away, are the same people that are involved in this.
Yep. And they want to continue in these activities.
Yep.
And they feel threatened.
They feel threatened.
They feel their way of life threatened. They feel, who knows who's involved in benefiting from these activities. They may feel that money stream is threatened.
Yeah, and I want you to think about this. This movie, Sandy, was made, completed 5.5 years ago.
Thank God it was not destroyed, done away with, whatever could have been done to get rid of it, diminish it, or hold it up from being released even longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
5.5 years ago, was made by Fox. Well, Fox got bought by, guess who? Disney. Yeah. You know, the mouse, the beautiful wide world of Disney that we were raised on. Remember that?
Yes.
Seeing the castle and the Tinkerbell and all this, couldn't wait to watch the movies and all that and the shows. That's not the Disney of today. Mm-hmm. Well, they bought Fox, and they're getting ready to put this movie on, and Disney shut it down, shelved it, and said, it's not going. We don't want this to go. Wonder why? Wonder why Disney did not want this movie to be seen. Well, guess what? It's set on a shelf. It's set in the proverbial digital shelf until time enough went along for another studio to buy it. And maybe even, I don't even remember who was that bought it, but bought it, got access to it. You know what they did? Think about this. Fox was trying to put it out. I don't know if they was ever going to put it out or not, but they're the ones that greenlit it. Disney said, no, it ain't ever happened. So they lost control of it. So the ones that had it said, well, you know what? We need a wide distribution. The movie theaters are not going to let us do this, so let's go to Amazon. They went to Amazon Prime. Yeah. Said, you can stream it. You know what Amazon said? We don't want this.
We ain't touching that.
We ain't touching that.
No.
We don't want it. Amazon turned them down. You know where they went next? Netflix. Think of the trash that's on Netflix. Yes. Think of the trash that's on Amazon Prime. I'm talking about the sick,
terrible,
sadistic. This is the same Netflix. What was that show that had the little girls that was training to be strippers? Some of y'all gonna know. It was Little Darlings or something. I can't think of the name. It was. I didn't see it, but it was a series about these little girls training to be strippers. This was little girls. Yeah, they'll put it up there, and it that was on Netflix. You know what Netflix said? No, we ain't touching this. So Angel Studios, the same ones that put out Chosen, they bought it and they said, look, the only way we can do this, we got to pre-sell tickets, and they pre-sold millions of tickets. And ladies and gentlemen, they took that to the movie theater and it beat. Yeah, that little pageant. It was a little pageant show, but it was not about pageants. It was actually about teaching them how to do pole dancing. Oh my goodness. Sick. But,
probably all of those, shelved it, refused.
They beat Indiana Jones.
refuse to put any money into it and promote it because they probably all thought in the back of their head that we're going to tamp this down and this will never see the light of day. We'll just keep rejecting it, shelving it, denying it. No one's ever going to be able to bring this into the light and actually push this all the way through, get this, but they did.
They did.
They did.
They did. And it beat Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Unbelievable.
Thank the Lord.
Go see this movie and make it the #1 movie again.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, thank God for Florida because, a lot of times y'all just want to get away, go to a vacation, get away from everything. During the wah, everybody went to Florida and said, Florida's safe. Now Florida has issued an alert for malaria. What? I used to have to go on a mission trip to work, take malaria pills to go on a mission trip. Now I got to take malaria pills to go to the beach. Are you kidding me? Florida issues malaria alert as 2 more cases are discovered. First locally acquired U.S. cases in 20 years. Did we not just cover, I think it was just a couple of weeks ago, mosquitoes being trained by the military to transmit.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
There it is. Thank you. It was called Cuties. That was the name of the show. Cuties.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it was demonic. I didn't see it. I saw the trailer, and I was like, this is unbelievable.
Thank God I didn't see it.
Yeah. So Florida issued a malaria alert. There you go. Enjoy your vacation. In several counties after 2 more cases of mosquito-borne disease was recently discovered, first time in 20 years in the United States. And isn't it ironic that it happened in Florida when the whole nation, is trying to find a way to make Florida look bad, and especially the elites don't want Florida to be successful, and all of a sudden malaria shows up in Florida. So that's that. The Florida Health Department issued a mosquito-borne illness advisory in Orange County, Polk County, and Walton counties, plus a mosquito-borne illness alert for Manatee, Miami-Dade, and Sarasota counties. Wow. Those are some very populated counties, and some of them are very, very well visited beaches as well. Wow.
Absolutely.
That's unreal. So you got to put sunblock on for the sun. And now while you're on the beach, you got to spray for mosquitoes.
You got to watch out for sharks, and you got to watch out for red tides and all that nasty seaweed.
But look, we're rapid fire. We just got a few minutes left, so we're going to rapid fire. So now I've done quite a bit of traveling lately, and I'll be honest with you, I have noticed some pretty serious turbulence, and I would agree that it's been an increase in turbulence. And so from what I normally am accustomed to, not a lot, but I have noticed it. And so I've noticed some very rough landings and so forth. And we have noticed, even at our home, and you've probably noticed it too.
Not just our home.
Not just our home.
Anywhere you're outside.
Yeah, it's like very low flying airliners, commercial airliners. More than you've ever seen. There'd be occasional when you was growing up, you'd see one come low. But you see so many commercial.
I wish you could have seen the one we saw yesterday.
It was why, and we kept asking, there must be something happening in the atmosphere area. Of course, Mike from around the world says, it's talking about radiation, getting down below the radiation. But NASA's got another thing to tell you why it's turbulence. NASA chief scientist blames the increase in airline turbulence on climate change. I'm not going to play the video. You may or may not have noticed, but according to NASA chief scientist and senior climate advisor, Kate Calvin, airplane rides are more turbulent now more than ever, and she blames climate change for the phenomenon. So NASA's been doing these reports where you're crunching some of the data to understand how to plan going forward, Face the Nation host Margaret Brennan said. I was looking at one of them, and it says that there seems to be a severe turbulence with airlines over large regions of the northern hemisphere. Already seeing that? Why would that happen? It goes on to say, well, there's different impacts in different regions. I think what's important to keep in mind is that climate change is more than just temperature. It's also affecting things like water cycles. So we're seeing more heavy precipitation events, more droughts, seeing increasing extreme events like storms. And we can see those that have how impact how we track travel, human health, agriculture, and all aspects of life. See that last word? And all aspects of life. So I just thought I'd throw that one in there, that the next time that you are on a plane And it just, something like that. Look at the guy sitting next to you, the lady sitting next to you, and say, it's okay. World Economic Forum's working on it. That was all just climate change.
I'm going to do that right before I grab that barf bag because I will probably be throwing up.
It's all good.
Again.
If we won't have more turbulence if we all drive battery cars and live in a 15-minute city. Oh, wait a minute. It was broke today on Glenn Beck's show. The director of the largest travel agency group in the world was on Glenn Beck today. You can go to Glenn Beck's YouTube channel and watch it. And he says that he was just at a conference for the travel agents of the world. He was on his show. This is the director. He said representatives from BlackRock and a few others were there, and people that were told them, you must begin to line the travel industry up with the standards of Agenda 2030, the 17 agendas, and ESG, because travel, this is what they told him at the travel agency, is about to change completely. And in the UK, yes, they told them in the UK, and we actually reported on this a few weeks ago, and he reiterated it, that they have declared their agenda is to shut down every airport except 2 airports, and by 2045 or 2050, no air travel at all in the UK. He said today they told him, and several people told him off the record, be prepared to talk about trains and other things because in some regions they are going to outlaw air travel.
Oh,
at the travel agency conference. Wow. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. But look, the good thing is solar panels can save us.
They're going to save us?
Solar panels can save us because what we need, if we only have solar panels, but wait a minute, what happens when a storm comes in and hell
destroys your solar panels?
Hits the solar panels. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a giant solar panel farm. Look at this. Almost every single one of these, look how long that is. This was supposed to sustain an entire city. These solar panels were destroyed by a large hailstone in Nebraska. And that's unreal. Look at that picture.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. But listen to this, the comment. It says, I'm going to go back to this article here because the article really spells it out. It says, although some panels in the Scotts Bluff Community Solar Project in Nebraska will still be usable, many will be too badly damaged. And according to CBS, more than 90% of the panels are going to be dumped into landfills when they are damaged. Anytime a solar panel is damaged, they have to be put in landfills. Go figure that. And they are damaged, defective, and reach the end of their usefulness. As of 2030, CBS said the panels will take up about 3,000 football fields full of landfill space.
Oh, my goodness.
This was a storm that came through with baseball-sized hail and 150 mile an hour, hitting them at 150 miles an hour and destroyed the facility in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
And watch what happens here. It says solar panels cannot be recycled, nor can they be sent to a landfill due to what they're made of.
Exactly.
And it goes on to say,
I was just thinking about the hazardous materials, corrosive material, whatever that are in these.
Yep. All right. So we're running out of time here. And I want to go to one other article.
We're not
here.
adding another hour, are we?
No, we're not going. We're not doing 3 hours. I just want to rapid fire and tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new Miss Netherlands. Miss Netherlands is a dude. Yep. Miss Netherlands is a dude. That's all I'm going to say. He's a dude. And, yeah, I saw the second place. Second place was beautiful young lady, very attractive, really a lot more attractive than this dude. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so let's rapid fire here. We got to do this. We got to do this. We're almost out of time, Sandy, but we got to do this.
Yes! We've all been
Uncle
waiting.
Jimmy!
He's back.
Supernatural AI update.
All
right, we got about 3 minutes. I
don't think it can be done.
You don't think it can be done? World powers are in rush to get killer robots on the battlefield in the AI arms race. Now we have an AI arms race. We used to have a Cold War that was just sort of about nuclear weapons. Now we have an AI arms race.
We live in a comic book.
We live in a comic book. As concerns grow, what? Possibly they could turn on humans? Look, by the way, this was
never.
I don't know why they include this picture, but this is what AI could do. This was the day he was indicted in New York, and somebody made this, and people fell for it. There were people who were sharing this, going, "Look at Trump. He's fighting the cops. He's running for the cops." People was like, "Look at my man running. He's like, you ain't taking me. You ain't taking me down." It was all fake. It was all fake.
I still like the orange jumpsuit one better.
Yeah, that's true. They had him in an orange jumpsuit. It's all fake. But there is. I'm going to rapid fire through this. World powers are fighting against each other to try to find out who is going to develop the first true killer robots to put on the battlefield. While at the national conferences, we see the OpenAI are going to conferences, and now they have introduced, OpenAI was the one that owns ChatGPT.
Right.
They have now created an entire team dedicated to stopping what they're doing. I laughed when I read this. I'm like, okay, that's a great headline, but you're telling me that's like the government when they say, "Don't worry, we are going to investigate what we did." I mean, how many times do you hear that? Oh, yes, that's right. We've appointed an investigator. The FBI has appointed an FBI investigator to investigate the FBI. So OpenAI, who's literally scaring the world to death by this technology, is going, "Don't worry. We have an entire team dedicated to making sure that we are good, that we do good things, that it doesn't get out of control."
And that statement should make you feel so much better. And if that all comes to pass, you should feel extra better, right?
Well, speaking of AI robots,
Sophia?
There's Sophia. She's back. AI robots at the United Nations. I want you to listen to this headline. This is the Today headline, July 10th. AI robots were being interviewed. I saw the panel. There was like 5 different versions of robots. The most famous one that we've covered here. All attended a United Nations press conference. They were interviewed this week by reporters. They're sitting behind a table. I'm going to show it to you. Robots interviewed. And they say that they could, quote, lead with a greater level of efficiency and effectiveness than humans. But they assured us at the press conference they will not rebel. I'm so thankful. So look at where it was at, Sandy.
Well.
In Switzerland.
Who would have ever guessed?
Have you watched my video on Switzerland yet? You need to. In Switzerland on Friday, the United Nations held the world's first press conference featuring a panel of 9 artificial intelligence-enabled humanoid social robots that fielded questions from reporters. During the, quote, AI for Good 2023 Global Summit Conference, the robots stated that they could lead with a level of efficiency and effectiveness, but assured us that they would not rebel. The event's organizers did not specify how much of the android's responses were scripted. And there's good old Sophia, the United Nations Development Program's first innovation ambassador. This is a robot that is a United Nations ambassador.
And has been for I don't know how long.
For many years, and is a citizen, am I not right, of Saudi Arabia?
I believe so.
Citizen of Saudi Arabia with a passport. Sometimes relies on pre-programmed statements created by a team writers at Hanson Robots. According to the events, the organizers of the press conference aimed to showcase the capabilities, perhaps limitations, of state-of-the-art robotics. I'm going to see if there was a video. I don't know if okay, yeah. We're just going to show just a little bit, just a second.
Ada, do you think there should be
So these are the robots here. You know, I'm not going to say what they look like.
Oh gosh. Oh wow.
A whole nother industry. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Whole nother industry. This guy in the hat here, I've seen him before. He is one of the ones that has openly said that he desires for AI to take over humanity.
Repeat that about how robots can help.
I want to show you this one question. So you got this guy here. He looks happy. This is a robot. I heard him talk on one of them. I wanted to show you this.
Right.
Look.
Roboidator.
He's speaking in Japanese.
Do you want to start again?
All right, look, I want to get to this one here. This is Sophia.
Hopping over next.
Look, we've covered this one. Annika, that's Annika. They're introducing.
The AI CEO at Dictador, created also by Dr.
What? I missed that. This is the first AI CEO of a company, and it's called Dictador. What? We got to play that back.
Handl's first AI CEO at Dictador, created also
At Dictador.
But look how it's spelled. I don't care how they said it. It's spelled Dictador.
Yeah.
by Dr.
What?
David
I'm sorry, I cannot get past the
the way they look.
This actually happened.
This happened. This is the United Nations, people. This is why you come to the big picture. You're not going to see this anywhere else. This is a press conference saying that they got to go watch this because I watched it. Reporters are saying, Sophia, I would like to ask you this question about how you feel about this. And Sophia would go, one time she glitched. It was so funny saying it. One time she went, and her handler was looking at him getting worse. She went, and her eyes just cut, and she went,
Oh,
That's a very good question. And I'm like, what just happened during the glitch?
You know.
Look at this. This is a press conference.
I better not say that. Okay.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it. I know what you're thinking. Look at this. These are reporters.
This is iRobot right here. I mean, that's the way they look in iRobot.
Absolutely. Look at this reporter. Look.
Specifically to Nadine or...
this is to Nadine or...
Sophia.
Sophia?
Do you believe that...
Listen, watch this.
Your existence will destroy a human being, especially, for example, your existence will destroy millions of...
She looks like somebody's grandmother.
Do you agree with this?
Nadine. Nadine, what do you think?
Nadine, will your existence destroy jobs?
Great question. Nadine, think about it. Nadine?
Hi there. Nadine Hi is my creator, Professor Nadia Thalman. She is a world-renowned expert in robotics and AI technologies.
I'm so...
Okay.
I can't.
This
Please,
is weird.
Is this almost over?
This is almost over. Nadine, why did you not answer the question, Nadine?
No,
Nadine.
I don't sing, but I can help with jobs. AI technologies can create new jobs, while also replacing some existing ones. There are opportunities to use AI to automate mundane tasks, freeing up people to focus on more creative and meaningful work.
Well, thank you, Nadine.
Please.
Okay, we're moving on, but
Please.
But look, I wanted. I guess
I am sure.
That's her answer.
To think about that one, I think.
Love a confident woman. All right.
Love a confident woman. Did you hear the reporter? I love a confident woman.
Well, I have a question. How many people out there are concerned that they may have nightmares tonight when they go to sleep about what they've seen here in the last couple of moments?
Okay, there's so much that I want to say.
Oh, my gosh.
Just as a response to the laughter, and then I love a confident woman, because there is a group of people out there, Sandy.
Oh, we're back to that.
That really That's their woman. That's all I'm going to say. All right, last article, and we're done. Are y'all still with us? We still got a great. They ain't left us saying they're still with us.
They're still here?
They're still with us.
You stayed?
Woo! Yes. Woo! If you haven't hit the like button, hit it now. Hit it now. But we have to do this last one. Yeah. We have to do this last one because this one is going to set up something we're about to do on our channel here that's going to help some people. You sent this to me, and I had seen the headline, but I had not read it. And when you sent it to me again, I had to read this.
Yeah.
So archaeologists today has unearthed, listen to the wording, a giant prehistoric hand axes, A-X-E-S, axes to cut and carve and to cut trees and all this. Giant, okay, giant. Scientists are baffled as to why they're baffled as to why 300,000-year-old tools were so large. Now, two things I want to say. One of them's funny, and I wished I had a picture of the flash of that guy on Ancient Aliens that has the hair. Where he always, what is his name?
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Where he always says, I'm not saying it's alien, but it's aliens. Okay, no, okay, so we're not saying it's aliens either.
We're not saying it's giants, but maybe.
We're not saying it's giants, but it's giants. So what a segue. We're going back to the article.
What a great lead-in.
What a great lead-in.
Loving this.
To a show that you need to be looking for that's going to be coming up either this week or next week, a show that I'm going to do called The Truth About Giants.
This is going to be great.
It's going to be great. But I want to go back to this article, and this will be the last one we cover tonight. Look at this. Archaeologists recently unearthed giant prehistoric hand axes in England. Scientists are bewildered at the sheer size of the 300,000-year-old tools and are not positive how humans from what is known as the Ice Age would have used giant hand axes. Researchers from University College, L.A. Marzulli.
Oh, he's going to be all over this.
All their guys are going to be all over this right here. There's going to be shows everywhere, okay? Researchers from University College London discovered the giant hand axes in the Ice Age settlements in the ancient river channel in the Medway Valley in southeastern England. The hand axes were found among 800 artifacts buried in a hillside in Finsbury, Kent. The artifacts were found in the excavation site of Manor Farm that began in 2021. The ancient artifacts are believed to be from the middle, how do you say that?
Pleistocene.
Pleistocene age. The giant hand axes were crafted from flint zone and measured more than a foot long from tip to butt, plus have very thick bases. Scientists are baffled at how prehistoric humans were able to use such large stone tools. And he said, we describe these tools as, quote, giants when they are this size range. Now you say, well, that don't sound big to me. But the reason they're saying they're so big is because when you find hand tools in those days, they didn't have handles. They were just big enough to be put in your palm. And a lot of times they were almost the size of like arrowheads, and they would just sort of chip like that in their hand. But these were very large. And when they found them, they were like, that does not make sense for prehistoric man, Ice Age caveman or whatever, to want something that big in their hand.
And they couldn't possibly have come up with
exactly
anything that made sense. Well, they probably should go back to Stonehenge and start asking more questions about how an average-sized man could have gotten all of those stones into place, especially those that
Machu Picchu, all over Peru, the pyramids, fill in the blank.
Hello.
That's why, look out for the truth.
It's going to be
I'm going to do it like this. The truth about giants.
Don't miss it, guys.
In a world where people are finding giant axes and they're thinking, what is this? Is it aliens or is it giants? Tune in to The Big Picture, where Larry Ragland, with the help of some others, will reveal to you the truth about giants. I'm having too much fun. All right, so we've had a great show tonight. The longest show we've ever had.
What? This is the longest?
Longest ever. 2 hours and 13 minutes. Don't worry. We won't go 2 hours and 13 minutes every week, but we will try to go at least 2 hours. And we don't even try. It's just become that. There's so much stuff we have to cover. And quite frankly, you saw me, I deleted about 5 shows, about 5 news articles.
Yeah.
While we're talking, I deleted about 5 other things that we actually had to talk about. But I think it was because we got emotional about the wah, and that was tough. That was tough. But hey, real quick before we go, if you want to help us as we get ready to go on Christian television, go to LarryRagland.tv. Click the give button if you'd like to help us in any amount. And I promise you, any amount is a blessing. And 100%, none of it goes to us personally. 100% of it is going towards the budget of $23,300 that we have to raise. You can send a check to Larry Ragland Ministries, make the check out to Larry Ragland Ministries. You can find this at LarryRagland.tv or look on the screen with our P.O. box there. We would appreciate it so much.
Yes, we would.
And for all of those that are our partners, that every week, so $5 a month, all they did was click that join button down below us. And they $5 a month, they become a Remnant partner with our ministry, and it is such a blessing every week when we see our partners and those little badges. Those little badges that you see next to their names, those represent people that say, "Hey, here's $5 a month, sowing into our ministry." Sandy, closing thoughts on the longest show we've ever had.
Wow, I didn't see that coming, but I guess it's just a statement of the times.
Yep.
So much is happening all at once, and it intensifies every week. But once again, I'm glad to know that I'm here with you all, and I'm not trying to deal with this by myself.
Exactly.
Because I need some help getting through this.
Can you help us? Let's help us get this channel out. Share this. Invite your friends to join us every Monday night. And, of course, all the things we do through the week, but especially get back here Monday night, because the truth is, here's the truth. We know we're not the only ones doing this, but there's not a whole lot of people doing a show like this. It's very rare to find a show that is this long, that's once a week, that is consistent, where I'm going to go there. Larry and Sandy are going to show us some things that we're not going to see anywhere else. So
let's grow this show. Let's grow this family.
Amen. All right, until next week, go to our website and you can get you one of them shirts that say "Awake, Not Woke." And by the way, I was reminded by CJ, we got stickers. You can. I think it's $3.
Nice.
$3, and I don't know how we're going to do it. They came out today. They're going to be on our website, but you can send $3 or more, whatever gift you want to send. It only has to be $3. Whatever gift you send, we'll send you a Awake Not Woke sticker. Because we want to remind you, on the big picture, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
See you next time.
Love you all.